Marina froze when she heard her daughter's trembling whisper, "Mom, look, there's Dad." Her heart skipped a beat. 3 years ago, the man Marina now saw standing across the street had been officially declared dead. 3 years of grief, paperwork, tears, and silent nights. 3 years of learning how to live without him. And now, he was there. Alive, watching them. At first, Marina thought her mind was playing a cruel trick. Grief can do that. It can resurrect faces in crowds, replay voices in the wind. She blinked several times, her breath caught in her throat, hoping the figure would disappear. But he didn't. The man stood under the old street lamp, just as he used to, hands in his pockets, shoulders slightly hunched, eyes fixed on them. It was him, Alexei. Her daughter, Sophia, tightened her grip on Marina's coat. "Mom, is it really him?" she asked, her voice shaking with hope and fear mixed together. Marina didn't answer. She couldn't. Her legs felt weak, her thoughts chaotic. Memories crashed into her mind all at once. The police knock at the door, the accident report, the closed coffin she was never allowed to open, the funeral where she screamed inside but stood strong for her child. Alexei had disappeared on a winter night. A business trip, a snowy highway, a burned car found near a ravine. No body that could be identified. Only fragments, documents, and the final verdict, dead. Marina swallowed hard and took a step forward. The man under the street lamp shifted, as if unsure whether to run or approach. For a moment, neither of them moved. The world around them seemed to fade, the noise of the city, the passing cars, even the cold air. There were only 3 people standing on opposite sides of an impossible truth. "Alexei," Marina finally whispered. He lifted his head fully now. Their eyes met, and in that instant, all doubt vanished. Those were the same eyes she had loved for years. The same eyes that had looked at Sophia when she was born. The same eyes that had promised never to leave. "It's me," he said quietly. Sophia gasped. Tears filled her eyes. "Papa." Alexei took a hesitant step forward. "Sophia, my little star." Marina moved instinctively, pulling her daughter slightly behind her. Her emotions twisted violently, relief, rage, disbelief, longing, all tangled together. "How?" she demanded. "How are you standing here? Do you have any idea what we went through?" Alexei closed his eyes for a moment, as if bracing himself. "I know, and I deserve everything you're feeling. But please, let me explain." They ended up in a small cafe nearby, sitting in a corner booth. Marina kept her back straight, her face tense, while Sophia stared at her father as if afraid he might vanish again. Alexei wrapped his hands around a cup of coffee, though he didn't drink it. "The accident was real," he began. "But I survived. Barely. I was pulled from the wreck by people who shouldn't have been there. People involved in things I didn't understand at the time." Marina frowned. "What does that even mean?" "I had stumbled onto information at work, financial crimes, dangerous people. That trip wasn't just business. When the crash happened, they saw it as an opportunity. Officially, Alexei Morozov died that night. Unofficially, I was forced to disappear. So you chose to abandon us?" Marina snapped. "No," he said firmly. "I was threatened. If I contacted you, if I showed up, you would be hurt. Sophia would be hurt. I watched from a distance. I knew where you lived. I knew where she went to school. Every day I wanted to run to you." Marina's eyes burned with tears she refused to let fall. "You let your daughter grow up without a father." Alexei turned to Sophia, his voice breaking. "I never stopped loving you. Not for a single day." Sophia slid out of the booth and stood next to him. Slowly, carefully, she hugged him. Alexei's hands trembled as he held her, tears finally spilling down his cheeks. Marina looked away, her heart aching despite herself. Over the following weeks, the truth unfolded piece by piece. Alexei had been placed under an unofficial protection arrangement. New documents, new name, a life lived in shadows. The danger had finally passed, and he was free, but returning meant reopening wounds he feared might never heal. For Marina, healing was not simple. Trust doesn't rebuild overnight. Love doesn't erase betrayal. There were arguments, long silences, and nights when Marina cried alone, wondering whether seeing him again was a blessing or a punishment. Sophia, however, embraced her father without hesitation. Children understand loss differently. For her, the dead had returned, and that was enough. One evening, as Marina watched Alexei help Sophia with her homework, she noticed something familiar, the patience in his voice, the gentle smile. The man she had loved was still there, beneath the scars and secrets. Do you hate me? Alexei asked Marina later that night. She thought for a long time before answering. I don't know, she said honestly. But I know this, we can't pretend the past didn't happen. I don't want to, he replied. I want to earn my place again. If you'll let me. Marina looked at him, truly looked at him, for the first time since that night under the street lamp. 3 years ago, she had buried a husband. Today, she was facing a stranger who carried the face of the man she once loved. Then we start from the truth, she said. No more disappearances, no more secrets. Alexei nodded. I promise. Life didn't return to what it was, and maybe that was the point. Some losses change you forever. Some miracles come with pain attached. But as Marina watched her daughter laugh again, a sound she hadn't heard in years, she allowed herself to believe that even broken stories can find a new ending. And sometimes, the dead don't come back to haunt you. They come back to remind you that hope can survive even the darkest winters. The days after Alexei's return felt unreal, as if Marina and Sophia were living inside someone else's life. Every morning Marina woke up half expecting the truth to dissolve, to find that the past night had been a dream and that Alexei was still only a photograph hidden in a drawer. But every morning, reality waited patiently. His shoes stood by the door. His quiet voice came from the kitchen. His presence filled the apartment that had learned, painfully, to live without him. For Marina, this was the hardest part. Grief had been terrible, but it was familiar. She had learned how to carry it, how to move forward with its weight pressing on her chest. What she didn't know how to carry was resurrection. Alexei tried to be careful. He spoke softly, moved slowly, as if afraid that any sudden gesture might shatter the fragile balance between them. He never touched Marina without her permission. Even a simple brush of the hand made him pause, searching her face for a sign of rejection. Sophia, on the other hand, had no such hesitation. She followed her father everywhere, asking endless questions, telling him stories from school, showing him drawings she had made over the years. She wanted to fill the 3-year silence all at once. Why do you like coffee so much? She asked one morning. Alexei smiled. Because it kept me awake when I missed you. Marina watched from a distance, her heart tightening. She felt like an outsider in her own family, standing between what was and what could never be again. At night, when Sophia slept, Marina and Alexei talked. Or tried to. You should have fought harder, Marina said once, her voice shaking. You should have found a way. I did fight, Alexei replied quietly. Every single day, just not in a way you could see. That was the problem. Everything he had done invisibly. And invisibility, Marina learned, hurts just as much as abandonment. The questions kept coming, and not all of them had answers. Marina wanted details, names, places, reasons, but Alexei could only tell her so much. Some secrets, he said, were still not his to reveal. That scared her. One afternoon, Marina's mother came to visit. She froze in the doorway when she saw Alexei sitting at the table with Sophia. You, her voice cracked. I buried you. I know, Alexei said, standing up. I'm sorry. Marina's mother crossed herself instinctively, tears streaming down her face. She walked toward him slowly, as if approaching a ghost, then suddenly slapped him across the face. The sound echoed through the room. Sophia gasped. Marina rushed forward, but Alexei didn't move. He simply nodded. I deserved that, he said. Marina's mother broke down then, sobbing into his chest. Years of pain poured out in seconds, anger, relief, disbelief tangled together. Watching them, Marina realized something uncomfortable. Alexei's return didn't just reopen her wounds. It reopened everyone's. Word spread quickly. Neighbors whispered. Old friends stared. Some were happy, others suspicious. A few avoided Marina entirely, as if her life had become too strange, too unsettling. At work, Marina found it hard to focus. Her colleagues asked careful questions, curiosity wrapped in politeness. She smiled, answered briefly, and escaped to the bathroom when it became too much. One evening, as she walked home, she noticed a black car parked across the street from her building. The windows were tinted, the engine was running, a chill crawled up her spine. Inside the apartment, she locked the door and leaned against it, breathing hard. Alexei, she said, trying to sound calm. Are you sure it's over? He looked at her, and for a split second, fear flashed across his face before he hid it. Yes, he said, I'm sure. But Marina had seen that hesitation. That night, she barely slept. The next morning, Sophia left for school with Alexei, laughing as they walked hand in hand. Marina watched them from the window, her heart swelling and breaking at the same time. She wanted this happiness for her daughter more than anything, but happiness built on uncertainty terrified her. Later that day, Marina confronted Alexei. "You're still afraid," she said. "Don't lie to me." Alexei sighed and sat down. "I'm not afraid for myself," he admitted. "I'm afraid for you, for Sophia. I spent 3 years making sure you were safe. And now I'm asking myself if coming back put you in danger." Marina felt a surge of anger. "So what? You disappear again? That's your solution?" "No," he said quickly. "Never again. I just need you to know the risks." She laughed bitterly. "Risks? We already paid the price. All of us." The tension between them grew. Small disagreements turned into arguments. Silence stretched longer than words. Marina hated herself for resenting him, and hated him for making her hate herself. One evening, Sophia overheard them arguing. "Are you going to leave again?" she asked quietly from the doorway. The room went silent. Alexei crossed the space in 2 steps and knelt in front of her. "No," he said firmly. "I promise you, I am not going anywhere." Sophia searched his face, then nodded. "Okay," she said, as if trusting him was a simple choice. That trust pierced Marina's heart. Children forgive easily, adults don't. A few days later, Marina received an anonymous message on her phone. "He should have stayed dead." Her hands trembled. She showed it to Alexei. His face went pale. "We need to be careful," he said. "Careful," Marina snapped. "This is exactly what I was afraid of." For the first time since his return, Alexei raised his voice. "And do you think I wanted this? Do you think I wanted to watch my daughter grow up from a distance?" The words hung heavy between them. That night, Alexei slept on the couch. Marina lay awake, staring at the ceiling, realizing a painful truth: love was not enough. Not anymore. Love needed safety, stability, trust rebuilt brick by brick. The next day, Marina took Sophia to the park. As they sat on a bench, Sophia suddenly asked, "Mom, are you scared Papa will disappear again?" Marina hesitated, then nodded. "Yes," she said softly. "A little." Sophia leaned against her. "I'm scared too," she admitted. "But I think he's trying." That simple sentence stayed with Marina all evening. When she returned home, she found Alexei packing a small bag. Her heart dropped. "What are you doing?" "I'm not leaving," he said quickly. "I'm just making a plan. Legal protection, moving some money, making sure that if anything happens to me, you're covered." Marina watched him, seeing not a man running away, but a man preparing to stay. Slowly, something inside her loosened. "I don't know if I can forgive you," she said. "Not yet." Alexei met her eyes. "I don't need forgiveness today. I just need a chance to prove that I'm here." Marina nodded. That night, for the first time, they sat together in silence that didn't hurt. Outside, winter began to fade. Snow melted into water. Cold streets softened. And though the past could never be undone, Marina began to understand that healing was not about returning to what was lost. It was about learning how to live with what was found.